Hey, what's up, everybody? So today we're going to talk a little bit about the new Avid software. So if you go into your bin or open up a project, working currently in my hold, you're going to see the new layout. Looks a little different, but still, there's not much really that's changed. A lot of the stuff is the same. There's a few tweaks here that we're going to go over, but for the most part, fortunately, it's all the same. The biggest difference is, as you'll notice right here, is they're different tabs, which I kind of like. So I'm going to show you a little bit how to adjust these tabs to kind of make it your own. What's nice is over on the right hand side, you'll see currently I'm on the edit. You can also, let's say if you want to color correct, you can hit color correct. If you wanted to go into effects, it automatically pulls up your different effect modes here, and even audio. So it's even got it where your audio. So the idea is that when you're editing, you can then click to do your color, or you can click to do your effects and do it all at once. I personally like to set it up differently, so it's actually pretty easy. So I'm going to start on the edit, and then what you're going to do is, let's say we open up a bin. So here's a bin, and if we go over to let's say I want right here I have my effects palette. Let's say I want the motion editor over there. So I click on motion editor, and here it is. So if I wanted to drop it somewhere, I could drop it right here, and it's gonna pin there. But let's say I want it next to the effects palette because it's the motion effects editor. If I hold Alt and bring it up, it'll actually see just like that. It'll then pin it on here. So now it's on a tab. Personally, I like that because then I can just click and then there it is. To save this, if you wanted to save this, you go to Windows Workspace, and then if you click New Workspace here, you can then save it, that workspace, and then it pops up down here. You can actually see one I created. It's called Field. So I actually put my bin, effects palette, my effects editor, and my motion editor all right here. So then I can easily access them. I also then brought up my audio meter and dropped it down here so that I could tweak my audio. Personally, this is my favorite setup. I'm still learning it, obviously, but when I edit, this is what I go to. Now, it's going to be different for when I'm editing, like let's say editing a show, because you're going to want interplay. Well, it's not called interplay anymore, actually. It's called production management window. That's a big change. So it's not interplay anymore. It's production management window. So let's say I wanted to open up a sequence here, just like this. So you're going to see a few things different on yours currently than mine because I've already tweaked it. So one of the big things is the timecode 1 is actually probably on your screen here. Under that, it's easy to move. You just hold Control. So yours probably looks like that. I don't like it like this. I like it the way it was. So if you hold Control and drag it down, it will drop down. And then the easiest way to then fix that for the rest is if you click that right here, you can save as, and I called it default. And so now I don't have to worry about that anymore. So that's a huge part of this. If you want your timeline to look like that, that is the easiest way of doing it. There's also a few other quick things that I would recommend. If you right click down here into the gray area and you click on timeline settings here, highly recommend you copying the settings that I have down on this screen and then under display, and then also when I go to edit, it'll save you, in my opinion, some time. I want it to be like it was with Avid. Avid made some changes, as you can see over here. The grab, the overwrite, the ripple tool, that's all gone. It's up here now. And how they have it set up is the idea is so that you can right click on that and then just select one. Well, I want them both selected. I don't want them to deselect because then when I try to move it, I can't. So I want it selected. Same thing with the ripple tool. I like them all selected. So if you actually right click again, go to timeline, and you go to edit, these are the things you're really going to want to change. And I can send this out. Auto patching, I took that off. Auto patching was if I deselected A1, it would automatically jump to A3. I don't want to do that. I just want to deselect A1. We're going to do that often. I don't want it to keep changing. It's going to mess up your timeline. So turn off auto patching. That's going to be huge. There's a few other little things that I noticed as well. Only one segment tool can be enabled at a time, and this one right here, that allows me to enable both of these. So you definitely want to click that off. You also want to do the segment overwrite on that one. Just double check these, make sure they're about the same, and then you can hit OK. Because one of them also, every time you like click down here, it would deselect this, and I forget which one it was, but it will fix that. So that's really the gist of a few of the things. If there's other stuff that you guys can think of, let me know. One of the biggest ones, and I'll show you real quick, that's really cool that we're going to do is I'm going to take this minute-long clip here of this interview that I did, right? I'm going to drop it down. So this is a minute long, and I'm going to call this sequence test 01 fast. No, if I can spell test correct. Let's do test 01 fast. So one of the benefits, we're going to switch the way we export now, and some of your settings are probably off. This is something I'm working with Justin on. But if you go to output, export to file, we're going to export it out differently. So I'm going to click on this one. You don't have these settings yet, but you will. Instead of exporting as an MOV, we're going to export as an MXF, and you'll notice the difference. This is a minute long interview, and I'm exporting now. Look how quick it is. So this minute long interview took 7 seconds. So it's basically taking the footage that we shoot in, which is XD-Cam EX 35-bit megabit, and it is going to export out as the same. So that's why it doesn't take very long. The downside is the file size is a little larger. So as you can see, this file size is 281 megs. So it's kind of large. We do have a way of fixing that. So if we go to File, Output, Export to File, there's another output we're going to do. It's called the long one, long GOP. And let's do, and this one actually, it takes a little bit longer, but the file size is about in half. So as you can see, that one took, 7 seconds, and this is going to take about 30. So the time is going to be increased, but you'll see here the file size will be about half. But I think of a package, if it's a minute and a half package, 2-minute package, and this thing is like 500 megs, we're going to save what could have been, 30 seconds to export instead of 5 minutes to export, because it was about a minute for each minute of video. It's almost a 1-to-1 sometimes, or even 2-to-1. So in my eyes, this is probably the best way of doing it. The video quality isn't too different, and like I said, so there you go. So 281 to 120 megs. So a lot smaller, about more than half actually, and the quality is not really any different. And I'm going to click on the fast one. So once again, the video quality is really not that different, but it takes a little longer. So if you needed it quick and you need to do it fast, you can do the fast version, which is a little bit larger, or you can do the longer one, but the file size will be about half. So it kind of depends on the situation. If you're going to upload it through the live view, man, you can do it so quickly because you have it out within 30 seconds. You can put it on a SD card, upload it to live view, and boom, you're done if you can't get a good internet signal. So that's kind of where we're at now. Like I said, those are the big things that I've noticed. Like I said, the big part of this is just creating the tabs to the way you want it. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm curious to see what kind of what you guys end up doing with this. But that's really the gist of it. So let me know if you have any questions.